Hello, and welcome to the Spiritual Quest podcast, where we talk about 5D perception, the new human vibrational frequency creating new Earth. Are you at 5D yet? You know you're invited. Welcome, welcome, welcome as we explore this inner place, this new Earth that's in here. It's in our hearts. It vibrates in our chest. It's called life. Life force is flowing through us, all as humans. That's the new human vibrational frequency that we're newly tapping into. It's the new Earth. And that new Earth is a new perception, and it comes from in here. It comes from in your heart. So you take a deep breath and you feel your heart beating and know that you are, in fact, that frequency. You are that source of life that flows through you. That's called spirituality. That's called the spiritual quest. Are you vibrating in 5D? So let me try to introduce you to this 5D perception. We're talking about 5D perception. Talking about how that works. Talking about how to see that. How to resonate with it. It's a frequency. We embody this new earth frequency, this new human frequency. It's in our heart. It's a frequency. We know where we are as humans. We vibrate. We vibrate in the frequency of love and light, which is the God frequency. And when we're in the God frequency, we are in perfect harmony with everything. We don't vibe against anything. We vibe with everything. That's the new human vibrational frequency. And we're living in the new earth. And you're welcome to join us. You're welcome to experience this. So trying to put this into terms that we can grasp from our little box, our little 3D matrix ego. So the 3D matrix, by the way, is an amazing place, and it's our collective reality that we've built over the last hundreds of years, right? We've mastered our growth. We've mastered our advancement. We've mastered our awakening through all the technologies, through all the studies, through all the world connectivity, through all the interracial and national connections that we've made. Like humanity has been moving and moving and moving more and more into a positive direction. But we did that in the 3D matrix, which was attached to our family, and it was attached to our culture, and it was attached to our frequency. It was attached to our community. It was attached to our thing. But it was always something we connected with externally. I saw my family, I saw my town, I saw my flag, I saw my team, right? We vibrate in our own culture, in our own rituals, our own traditions. All of those things allowed us to vibrate in love and light with one another as communities, and we did that in the 3D world. We were connected physically to one another, and we kind of lived in that world. Well, as the internet has expanded and as connectivity has expanded, we have gotten to the point where our little individual love and light communities, right, began to bump into one another. We began to really have distractions with trying to figure out which team was the better team for managing economies. Which system of money management? Do we want to be in a barter society? Do we want to be in a capitalist society? Do we want to be in a socialist society? Well, all of these frequencies vibrate throughout humanity. Where do you vibrate? What vibrates is love and light and truth to you. That's important to feel, because you've got to feel where you belong. And you feel where you belong in here. And if you're in a community that's totally, totally different than what you grew up in, it doesn't feel good. It feels out of frequency. You're not quite there. Now, obviously, if you stay in a strange place and you begin to resonate with that new community and you begin to connect relationships in that new community, you can now vibrate with that new community. That's a vibrational frequency. Everything that's happening in your world, in your universe, is a vibrational frequency. Every culture, every community, every government, every narrative, anything that's happening in our physical reality are energies, and they're swirling all around you all the time. So the first perception in 5D is, number one, know your 5D place. Know where you feel amazing. Know where you love life. What is it that you do that you feel amazing doing? Do that. Stay there. Find that place. Feel that place. That's the first 5D perception of the new earth that's bliss. That's the first goal to get to. And if you haven't reached this point of high vibe and loving life and feeling this new frequency, you're still struggling in the darkness. And as the lights and the frequencies increase all around us, we're feeling more and more pressured. We're feeling more and more stressed because the chaos is becoming more and more chaotic, right? The situations that we're running into, you watch the news and we're just pumped narratives, we can sense that there is discomfort and there is dissonance and there is upsetness and there is evil everywhere you look, right? Because we all had our own little box that we lived in, and we all lived in our own little community, and we loved our community, and our community was the right community, and our community was the religious community, or our community was the patriotic community, right? Our community was the love community. Whatever our community was, we vibrated with it because it was our community. Well, now, particularly our young kids, they live in a world where every community is pointed at as being bad. That's a bad community. That's the wrong community. That's the wrong religion. That's the wrong idea. That's the wrong cause. That's racism. That's socialism. That's capitalism. And everything is put into a negative box. That's the 3D world. That 3D world is now over. Okay? It's over because we have collectively reached the end of that matrix game, the rigidity of the matrix, trying to follow the rules and trying to follow the lines and trying to follow the algorithms and understanding the science. All of those things, right? They're still available to us. But collectively, we are not able to focus because there's just too much going on. There is just too much energy. The frequencies are all around us. It's everywhere you look. Vibe in 5D, and it's amazing because you vibe in that frequency. You get up here and you're vibing and you're watching, and it's a frequency. It's not something you can ascertain in your head. It's not something that you can explain. It's something that you resonate with. It's something that you feel. That's 5D vibrational frequency. So notice how you feel when you interact with different types of people. Notice how you feel when you interact with your dad or with your grandfather, right? Or with your mother, or with your sister, or with your siblings, or with your neighbor, or with a bully, right? No matter which interaction that you get exposed to, there's frequencies there. Become mindful of those frequencies. Notice how you feel in here, because this is the 5D frequency of love and light, right? So I've got this problem. I've got this guy, I just cannot make any headway with him. He's just angry at me all the time. And every time I get near him, he triggers me. And it just seems as if there's just no way I can stop that. Every time my spouse talks at me, I get upset. And it just, like, as soon as they open their mouth, I can just feel that negative tension. How do you deal with that in 5D perception? Well, first, 5D, right, you discover that that's happening. So you discover that when my spouse says something or my partner says something to me, I can feel something uncomfortable. There's a frequency that is off, and I immediately feel as if I'm being attacked. I feel as if I'm being judged. I feel as if they're trying to change me. They're trying to make me something that they want me to be. Notice those frequencies. Because those frequencies are not from your partner. They're not from your spouse. They're not from your neighbor. They're not from your boss. They're inside of you. They're your own shadows. You're worried about what other people potentially are thinking about you. when you come to 5D and you vibe in the 5D and you start to feel those frequencies of being picked on, somebody trying to change you, somebody trying to maneuver you in a way that you don't want to be, and you feel those frequencies and you want to resist that. Well, first of all, recognize in 5D that those frequencies are inside of us. They're a frequency inside of us. So that person inside of us, that little feeling inside of us that feels picked on, or that feels underappreciated, or that feels as if they're trying to change me, whatever those frequencies are, we recognize them. And we bring those frequencies in and we recognize them as something that's inside of us. And that thing that's inside of us is us. It's you looking for you. It's a frequency within you that's out of alignment. So you can feel the frequency of frustration. You can feel the frequency of anger, right? You can feel the frequency of a challenge coming up, and you immediately respond. And before you know it, as soon as somebody comes, there's an action and then there's a reaction. Well, 5D perception is boom. We're in 5D. We notice that frequency coming. I can feel it coming. My spouse starts talking at me. My mate starts talking to me. My partner starts talking about me. And I can just feel this irritation coming up because they're not understanding me. Well, grab that little feeling. Notice that little feeling. Love that little feeling, because that little feeling is only inside of you. That frequency is in here. That's 5D perception. So now all of a sudden you're above the dynamics. You're above the reactions. You're above the 3D matrix transactions. All of a sudden you are now foreseeing. You're foreshadowing where things are going. You can prophesy that this is going to happen because you just know it's going to happen. Okay. How do you control your world? So now you take control of this inner sensation, and you recognize that those reactions are rising inside of me, that they're rising inside of you. And so you say, I'm not going to let that happen. And we do our best not to let that happen. So as soon as that loved one comes to us and they start in on us, we can feel all of these sensations raising. Those are your 5D perceptions, right? And now you're able to say, okay, I'm not going to react. I'm going to love myself, and I'm going to love these frequencies that are communicating to me. And I'm not going to react, and I'm not going to explode out. I'm going to be in 5D perception. I'm going to be in control. I am going to hold place for those negative frequencies. So when my spouse or my neighbor or wherever it is I'm in an argument with, I take a deep breath and I do not engage. So when they send you those triggers, right, you're able to block those triggers, and you're able to bring that same love and control energy that you've brought in managing your own inner space. You're now able to implement the same frequency resonance to feel the irritation in them, to feel the frustration in them, to feel the anger in them. And rather than trigger that, you show sympathy for that. You show love for that. You show consideration for that. So you say, thank you for sharing that with me. I didn't realize it was having that bad of an effect. Well, you should have known that. You need to know these things. Deep breath. You're right, I should know those things, and I'm so sorry, and I'm going to do my best not to do that. And then while you're feeling this in the beginning, first of all, the first time may just, you can hold off for 10 minutes before the battle ensues. Eventually you get to the point where, no, you can hold off. And then if you know that you're losing it, you keep this love and light, and then you turn away from it. So you say, oh, you know what? I've got to go. I've got to do this. I've got somewhere I've got to be. I've got to make a phone call. Whatever it is that you've got to do to migrate away from those negative frequencies. They're not going to go away. That tension is still going to be there, but you're not caught in it. All of a sudden, you're vibing in 5D. You're in a higher spiritual vibrational frequency. Do you see how you can manage and control these frequencies that affect your life? Can you sense this? Can you feel this? Can you comprehend this? Trying to take this 5D perception and putting it into 3D words and into 3D stories is difficult. It's hard to communicate this. I hope that you're getting it. I hope that it's making some sense. But basically, you're in 5D. It's in here, and you find that place where you belong, where you feel full and you feel happy, you feel complete, you feel satisfied, and vibe in that frequency. And whatever it is that comes along and tries to deflect you off that, tries to trip you on that, right? You need to be above it. You need to recognize what's happening, right? You need to respond accordingly. You don't need to be triggered. That's the 3D matrix. We're letting that stuff go. And we're going to get to the point where we become so 5D astute, so 5D frequency aware that we can start to sense frequencies way far away, and we can sense the subtle changes that are happening around us. Why? Because we're vibing in 5D. We have a higher acuity. We're at a higher frequency, right? And if you're not buying in, and if you're not grasping this, and you're not working your own 5D vibrational frequency, you are suffering. And that suffering is not going to get any better, because the world is going faster and faster and faster, and the conflicts are becoming more and more intense. But none of those things that are actually happening are actually affecting you at all. The only thing that's affecting you in the new earth is the frequency. So don't let the frequency of anger, don't let the frequency of jealousy, don't let the frequency of depression and sadness and guilt and lust and whatever it is that drains you, recognize it. Recognize it. That's the first step. You recognize, oh, I can feel it coming. Turn away from it. Turn away from it. Don't engage it. Pretty soon you'll get to the point where, yeah, you can navigate wherever you are, and you can stay in your high vibe no matter where you are, no matter what's happening around you. That's 5D perception. That's the new earth. And man, when you're in the new earth, everything is awesome. Everything is perfect around you. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the way it is. That's the new human living in the new earth. That's 5D perception. Are you at 5D yet? You know you're invited. This is the topic of this podcast. Every week we talk about this 5D perception. It's always the same thing. And eventually you'll resonate with it, and you'll grasp it, and you'll catch on. And you'll discover that you are in fact in 5D yourself, and that life is amazing. Because when you're in the perfect internal spiritual space of this love and light frequency, right? That's literally your pulse. You have love and light and energy. You are life itself. You are the life force of the Creator. You are God. In that frequency, that's you. You are one with source energy. That is you. You're a piece of it, but that's you. You are God. And here's the thing that 5D perception brings you, is that you realize that as you embody this frequency and as you engage in the world around you, and it's in here, all of a sudden you realize that the earth around you and everything that you're interacting with is perfect love and light vibrational frequency. And the world is perfect, and you're perfect. And once you come to realize this, and you come to vibrate with this, and you come to truly resonate with this, and you do that in perfect resonance with yourself, and maybe that's sitting in meditation, maybe that's sitting alone, petting your dog, wherever you find this peaceful 5D spiritual perception, you got to find it, you've got to tune into it, and you've got to own that space. It's a 5D perception. And once you grab it, and once you feel it, and once you're vibing with it, it's going to feel amazing, and everything will be going great. And then boom, some trigger's going to come along, and you're going to sense it, and you're going to respond, and you're going to get sucked back to the 3D. You vibe out of it, and you say, yep, that was a mistake. And then you become more in tune with it. And pretty soon, the more in tune you become with your 5D perception, pretty soon you are interacting in the world around you with peace. And that's the new earth. That's the new system. That's the new world. That's Shambhala, right? That's the perfect place. That's in Sof, right? That's nirvana. Whatever the word is, whatever the words are that we use to describe this perfect place, that's where we are. That's where we vibrate in 5D as human beings, because we are, in fact, God's source code. So we vibe there. And here's where it gets really exciting. Once you get there, you get the 5D vibing and you're in total control, so nothing externally is going to be able to hurt you. And you're able to bypass everything. We call this the spiritual bypassing, right? You vibe out of it. I don't need to be engaged in this. I'm not going to struggle or fight or argue with somebody over something that really has nothing to do with me, right? You just vibe away from it. Well, at some point in time, you begin to realize that, wow, I get to interact with the world around me. And then once you actually acknowledge the fact that you are one with the universe, that you are one, you are in frequency with the universal source energy, 5D perception as a new human, you get to co-create your reality. Because you have this avatar, you have an ego, you have this part of you that actually interacts with the world around you. And so now, when you're vibing in 5D and you're looking to interact, you know right where to interact in the most positive way, because you can sense where someone is sad and you can help put a smile on their face, right? You can sense when someone is depressed and you can help pick them up. You can sense when someone is feeling scared that you can, provide them some security. And you get to play that game because you get to have the control feature. This is like you're a video controller. We're living in a matrix of a 3D world where we're constantly interacting, right? 5D perception is the next level of the game, right? All of a sudden you can see the programming. You can see where the game is going. Just making sense. This is 5D perception. You begin to recognize you're vibing in 5D. You've got much more acuity. You're much more in tune because you're not trying to hold on to anything. You're not trying to figure anything out. You're not trying to measure anything. You're not trying to defend anything. None of your energies go anywhere except love and light. In here, just find your love and light space. And no energy is wasted. All your energy is spent being in frequency. And pretty soon you're vibing in 5D. And when you're vibing in 5D all the time, things come to you naturally, right? This is the synchronicity place. Things just start to open up. And what's amazing is once you tap into your own perfect 5D love and light frequency, and you know that this is where you belong and this is where you vibrate, you're going to immediately resonate with others who are in that same place. You're going to resonate with those who are also resonating in those frequencies. And when something shows up to try to rob you of that or challenge you in that or do any of that, you just vibe away from it. You don't engage it. Like you can feel it coming. You just say, nope, that's not for me. That's not for me. And when we're all moving towards where we belong, we're all moving towards our own love and light frequency. Imagine our new world, what it will look like. When we're all pursuing our positive love and light frequency. We're all doing what it is that we're supposed to do. And when we find in our heart that love and light space and we know what we're doing, we become superhuman in that we have a skill set. And each and every one of us has a unique skill set. And we'll know where our skill set is. And when we're executing our skill set in 5D perception from love and light, we execute that the best of anyone else around. And anyone else who's doing the same thing that we're doing, they're not a competitor. They're a spiritual partner, right? They're with you. They're part of that solution. You're going to vibrate in that space and you are going to provide that to humanity. You're going to provide that frequency of love and light in whatever it is that you do. And this is what's happening right now. Our entire world is going to be crumbling. It's going to come apart, right? And that's what's scaring everybody. Don't worry about it. Vibe out of it. Just stay in 5D and just vibe where you belong, and you will discover where you belong. And we're all going to start to vibe where we belong, because you know what's happening right now. If you look in America, there is an obvious vibrational track that's in contrast to one another, right? So you kind of have this new movement, this Doge efficiency, this Trump taking control of the world, Trump coming in and trying to make changes and trying to bring justice and trying to bring police, trying to bring law and order and all of these things around us. And that can be very upsetting. Vibe out of that. I don't have to feel those frequencies. I don't have to be in that frequency. I can choose to fight that. And millions and millions of Democrats are doing this right now to their own demise. Like, how can we defend violence? How can we say that we support love and light and we support Black lives, and yet in Chicago there are murders every week and most of them are Blacks that are dying, and we don't hear about them, and we don't have to because we don't vibe in that space, right? Well, that space is there, and there are many of people who are vibing. And the president is vibing in that space because he wants to stop it. Vibe out of that. Vibe with him stopping it. Vibe out of it and saying, let it work itself out. Because as 5D humans, as we vibe in our own place, let's vibe where we belong. And if you choose to want to vibe in violence, if you want to vibe in protesting, and you want to vibe in that low density stuff, that's going to create more of it. And that's going to keep you in the 3D matrix, and that's going to keep you depressed and sad and miserable. And the world is going to go crazy because that world is over. Because those of us, we're vibing in 5D, we're just leaving that stuff behind. We don't want to be in those frequencies. And pretty soon you're going to show up to a rally and you're going to be there to protest and no one's coming. No one's showing up because we're not vibing there anymore, because it's not love and light. Can you feel that? Can you understand those two diverse frequencies? So vibe in 5D. Find where you belong. And wherever it is that you belong, love that frequency. Find where you belong and then do your cause. And if your cause is to try to help somebody, get out there and help somebody. And if your job is to protest, how do you protest with love and light? How do you protest in kindness? How do you protest with consideration? How do you show respect? Those are words. Those are frequencies. We bring those frequencies into our world, right? We can vibrate with any of those frequencies. But once you come to 5D and you're vibing high, you don't want to vibrate in the frequencies of depression. You don't want to vibrate in the frequencies of anger and protesting or social justice causes and the chaos, and you need to change and you need to fight against this, or we need to fight for this or fight for that. War is not a God thing, right? We're in love and light. That's who we are. That's who we are in here. That's who we are. That's why we're children of God. Humanity is children of God. And even an atheist, even if you're an atheist, go inside, know that you can feel life pumping through your heart. You know what love is. You know what light is. You know what kindness is. You know what goodness is. You know what those frequencies are. You know what anger is. You know what rage is, right? And you can choose which frequency you want to vibe in. And right here, we're talking about vibing in 5D perception. It's literally the new human frequency. It's in here. We feel it. Are you feeling it? Are you tapping into this? We share this every week. And if you're liking this podcast, we ask that you share it with somebody else. Send us a comment. Send us a like. Send us an I hate you, if that's what it is. Interact with this. Start critiquing it. Let's talk about what 5D perception is. Let's talk about this 5D vibrational frequency of love and light, right? Is love and light the path we want to go down? Is that not the destination of every spiritual tradition throughout all of history? Is not love and light the frequency that we want? And even if we believe that our God is going to come down and perform massive amounts of destruction, and it's going to bring to ruin those ruining the earth, and it's going to be the end, and it's going to clean it all up. Well, what's going to be the outcome of that? At the end, we're going to get to live in peace. We are that frequency. We are that collective God frequency. And collectively, we are manifesting our reality. Let's vibe in 5D and let's manifest the best reality. Because as these AI tools come on, we become the source code. we become the programmers of the AI. Rather than the AI taking control of us anymore in the 3D matrix and moving us and trying to move us, and we're constantly battling. Nope. We're vibing in 5D. We're way beyond the game. We're way beyond the matrix. We're way beyond the rigidity. And we don't even want to be a part of it anymore. We're just going to vibe out of it. We just don't want to be in those low vibe frequencies anymore. Welcome to 5D. This is what we talk about on every podcast. We share our fellow 5D podcasters and YouTubers on the Spiritual Quest on our Facebook channel, so you can check that out. We have a Substack, and by the way, we have a book called Are You at 5D Yet? You are invited. We have a Substack that we've created, and if you go, it's free. Go to Substack and just, number one, just sign up and support us. There's no cost. It's free. And if you join our Substack community, you will get a free copy of our book. You'll get a link to take you to our book. And then you can share that with all your friends, and they don't have to sign up, right? You can just get the free link and share that with everyone you want. This is only about getting out the message. We want to get this message out. We want to get everybody to be vibing in 5D. Are you vibing in 5D? Are you sensing this frequency? Are you ready to move forward? Just help us do that. Share this podcast. Like our podcast. Create your own YouTube channel. Create your own Facebook page. Share our videos. And if you want to, we'll send you our source videos and you can upload them yourself. What we're doing here is a cause for humanity, 5D perception, the new human, creating new earth, and it's an inside thing. And you're invited. Are you at 5D yet? You are so invited and welcomed here. Hope you come back. Peace. Spiritual Quest.